distance, ain't it? Okay, we're good.
I'd like to call the June Maumelle Civil Service Commission meeting to order. I assume we don't have any public comments from the gallery. Under old business, we need to approve of the May 8th Commission regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve as written.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve as written. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? No. Under new business, we have a discussion of Sergeant Hicks being out of state during the January 2018 promotion testing. The secretary and I did get an email from Chief Williams saying that she had a long planned vacation, and it brought back some frustrations because we've been trying to avoid this situation for the last 5 years. We've set the dates as early as we possibly could, and we have made it a point with both chiefs to please educate your people that January and February is just a bad time to be gone. So I guess we're going to have to handle her individual case first, but then I have a bigger issue I want to get back to that relates to this. Any discussion on any special treatment for Sergeant Hicks?
Are we setting a precedent?
Yes, one we've been trying to get away from. Chief?
May I speak?
Yes, sir.
I would like to just say, on her behalf, this isn't something that she planned. This is her brother getting married, and he was the one that told her when they were doing it, and so she really had no input. This wasn't something she planned, knowing that the test would come up or anything like that. He just told her, I'm getting married, and here's where.
He didn't want to change the wedding.
Act like
Selfish.
selfish.
Yeah.
This is a recurring issue that's just, anytime we get outside of the boxes and testing people separately from the rest of them, we open ourselves up to some criticism, warranted or not. I have a hard time doing this.
Chief Williams?
Yes, sir.
What is she, what from rank would she be taking a promotion?
She's a sergeant, so
She's a
first
sergeant.
Now, so she'll be testing for lieutenant.
And certainly not anything personally aimed at her when I say up here, because my impression is she's a very good cop.
Yes.
And I've always scored her highly in the promotion testing, so it's certainly not individual based at all. It's just it bothers me that we continue to have to do this.
What is the prerequisite for taking the promotion test after she just became a sergeant not too long ago?
No, she's been a sergeant for a couple of years.
Couple of years?
Yeah.
So that's,
And plus, Officer 2, who have been here over 5 years, whatever number, you can take the lieutenant's test also. That's that rank where sergeants and officers can take the lieutenant's test, so she double qualified. And I understand your frustration. I understand what you're trying to do here. I would plead her case, and I would say that there are liable to be other times when some circumstances arise where I'm here asking you to do something similar, or somebody else is asking you to do something similar. I don't know, and I certainly understand, Mr. Harrington, Chairman Harrington, what you're saying about the criticism. I will tell you this, that if I would speak, as for my reputation, I would put my reputation on the line, that if she were allowed to take the test at a time when others weren't, there is no reason, there's no doubt in my mind that she would not compromise the integrity of the test. I would stake my reputation on that.
we have made exceptions I know we've made exceptions for the fire department.
Oh, we've made exceptions for everybody. We were
Yeah.
just trying to get out of the exceptions business. And I know, man, it's tough. I mean, people have lives and, things happen. I think we have two choices. We either approve it and we can't do that. We can do that tonight. What we can't do tonight is, and I run this thing around in my mind, because we have had situations where someone was on department business, special training, that they had to be there for that. And I look at that in another way, very forgiving on that. But there's part of me that says we need a rule that if you miss the promotion testing for any reason, if you can't take it during the regular time, you don't take it that year. And I would entertain a discussion on that at our next meeting. Like I say, we can't do anything with it tonight, even if we wanted to. I don't know if that's what we want to do, but I need y'all's input on this.
I would hate to do a blanket, if you can't take it, you miss it for the year kind of thing, especially if it's active duty military that they may have, orders to be on duty. It's a long time till January. Maybe her brother won't get married. I don't know. Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Anything between now and
They might
January.
bust up by then.
But I also am like Chairman Harrington in the sense that it's every year something, but then also like the chief said, this was something that's kind of beyond her control.
Yeah.
It's a family matter that her brother, I'm sure, would like to have his sister there for his wedding.
Well, if it were a death in the family, would
See.
we feel the same way?
I would probably let, yeah.
All right.
Because of the department, because of our fire department and our police department are small departments, we're going to run into that a lot. And you got to make, you've either got to just say you cannot do it, or you got to make exceptions. So that's
your two
that's
choices.
That's the
that's
two
the
choices.
two choices
I
we've
know.
got.
I know. And I don't want to try and go through and say, these are the reasons you can miss.
Right.
Funerals, weddings, active duty military, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through that,
No, that road goes forever.
Yeah. I'd say we're just going to have to do it on a case-by-case basis, and you're just going to have to vote your feeling on something like this.
Then I will entertain a motion to allow, I guess, Chief Williams and our head of HR to work out testing dates between the two of them.
Is our testing date set in concrete?
Yes.
Months ago.
So it is.
Did we set it in January?
I don't think we got to it quite that early this year. It was a little further on up in the year. That was my fault. But it's been set for months.
How would you handle her if we agreed to let her take the promotion testing at a different date? Who would handle that?
HR and I.
HR.
And I would just admonish them, obviously, that I'd give them direct orders that they're not to discuss the contents of the test with anybody. And quite frankly, and this is.
It would be stupid to do it. It would. Yeah.
Why would you?
Right. Exactly.
Cut your own throat.
Certainly, we would have her take the test before,
Yes.
did not after.
Yes.
Because that way your pool of people that could compromise the integrity of the test is one. But I would coordinate that with the HR person.
Do you have a lieutenant slot open?
Not yet.
When they take a test, is it for a year,
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
so the test score run for a year.
Yes, sir.
The lists are good for a year.
Again, I get it, I really do. I'm not at all concerned about or compromising the integrity of this test. I have zero concern.
I will entertain a motion.
I move that we allow Sergeant Hicks to take the lieutenant's promotional tests at a different date than in January 2018 or whatever.
To be worked out between HR and Chief
Right.
Williams. Where does our oral testing fall for that? And is she going to be gone then? Because if she's going to be gone, remember we always have to meet twice
In January.
in
It's
February.
in February.
February and maybe 1st of March. Just
She'll be
depends on
back though.
the number of people here.
She's
Sure.
gone in January.
Yes.
Okay.
For 2 weeks.
If she's not, it's a hell of a long wedding.
So she could, she'll be able to take her orals with us just like normal. Okay, it's the January testing that's got her. Okay, we have a motion.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We have a police department request for entry-level testing.
We have one person on the list who is currently going through the background investigation. We had 34, and my numbers are estimates right now, don't hold me to the exact number. 34 sign up for the test, some 25 take it, some 4 pass it, 2 of which had already been disqualified from previous attempts at taking the test. One has currently been disqualified, background, failing to pass the background, and we've got one more review. I saw this, frankly, and I said we got a problem. We've got several problems, but the one that concerns y'all, we don't have near the number of applicants taking the test as we used to have. We are competing with other departments for the same applicants. The same applicants that we know, personally know, are coming back and telling us, I breezed past Little Rock's test, I breezed past North Little Rock's test. This is the 3rd time I've taken those tests. Quite frankly, I was frustrated and wanted to see what we were facing. I had one of what could only be described as one of my best lieutenants and one of my best captains take it. My best, one of them made a 72, the other made a 66.
Which is failing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And quite frankly, it appears that the memorization part of this test is throwing a lot of people behind the 8 ball going in, and then they almost have to ace the rest of this test to make a passing grade. That is where we are watching our applicants fall off. And that, quite frankly, is where my lieutenant and captain fell. I don't know that it's totally unfair. If it's just really difficult, I'm not taking it. You're not gonna get to laugh at me. We got problems.
Do we know the difference between the test we administer and the
Yes.
difference in
Oh,
Little
yes, sir.
Rock?
They're pretty drastic differences. They use a different testing company. They use Little Rock used to, and I don't know what they do now. A big part of their component is stuff that their HR department has come up with through the years on their own. And I think they own the rights to their test, whereas we buy, and the people that we buy them from own the rights to. I've talked to Rua, and she has said that there is one particular test from this company that they've used. I think we have a rotation of 4. There's one that doesn't have near as much memorization. And I come to you and say, maybe I can go to her and ask her to administer that test. My official request to the commission this evening is I need an authorization for another test. I've got 3 openings. And a possibility of 1 candidate.
What
So it's
the,
costing us. It's
what
having
is the
effect.
problem with the memorization part of it?
It's It's pages upon pages about Larry is a Mexican American who has a tattoo of a V on his right hand. And then there will be just a mountain of other information. And then you put all that away and you've taken the test and what I'm going to be. Now, who is it that has the V on their hand? What is it about Larry? And, you know, the other one's got red hair and a tattoo of a swastika on his forehead. All this information. And then when you start taking the examination, it's now tell us about the guy in the stolen car. And they're confused on it.
It's 6 mugshots with the description of each one with nicknames also, and tells where they have descriptive tattoos, tells if they're left-handed or not, tells that they carry a knife or they carry a gun, and then you're just reading through this thing and they'll say who has Lefty as their nickname. Well, it doesn't even tell you in the mugshot that their nickname is Lefty, but you've got to assume that by them being left-handed. And so...
Is this something an applicant should know?
Well, it's a memorization. You've got 25 minutes to study this material, and then they take that booklet away. And the fire department has a very similar thing where they talk about you have 5 different stations within a city, and this station covers the industrial park, and this one has this, and this one has truck 1 and engine 4, and then you have to say which one responds in a certain industrial park and what 2 vehicles or what 2 apparatuses are going to show up and all that. So, it's difficult. I sit there. I didn't take the test, but I read the questions going, I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one. I wasn't going to take the test. I'm like, gee, I don't want to
Would you
fail
have failed it too?
Might have.
Well, and one of the complaints that I hear from my folks is this is 2017. If you want me to tell you all about Larry with the tattoos, I'll get on the computer and in 10 seconds I'll tell you that and more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This isn't like we don't have any information available to us anymore. It is difficult. It is, and anything that starts out with 6 mugshots, as y'all probably know just from being in y'all's position, every police officer is scared to death when we start showing photo lineups because people just not great evidence. It's just not great evidence.
Can you get a copy of that test?
Yeah.
That you were talking to Roy about? The one that doesn't have as much memorization?
I believe I could, and I don't know that you guys would have any real objection to that because I don't know anybody taking the test. Well, with the possible exception of one of our dispatchers. Unlike, and with our supervisory tests, our promotion exams, we play a big role in that now as far as making some local knowledge and state knowledge. Mm-hmm. But yes, sir, if I could, if that was the will of the commission, look at that test that doesn't have near the memorization and see if this is something that I don't
Did he
want
have
to
to
make
buy
it so easy that we, just anybody can walk in, walk out and pass it.
It's,
But I work clearly
so much
losing
per
good
booklet.
applicants because they're going to other departments on us.
we pay for every booklet that we use and break the seal on. And then we can send back the ones we don't use. Now, they might send us the test free gratis knowing we're going to purchase them later for the test. I don't know about that, but we have to pay per test that we purchase.
So you found yourself in need of a testing date and a different test.
Maybe not a different test if we stay with the same company.
Okay.
Well,
Or
a different
we
test
took
with-
last time, but maybe not a different test that they've taken in the past.
So you've got 4 tests that rotate.
Yes, sir.
And one of them is the problem.
I might, and again, this is part of the discussion, I might say, give us the one with the least memorization. And let us.
Is it just one that's a
Yes, sir.
problem?
Well,
Yes, sir.
the 2 I've seen both had mugshots in them. So
Or
yeah.
it's maybe 2?
there may be 3 that have 6 mugshots, and then the 4th test may not have near that. I haven't seen. I'm not going to say that I've seen every test, but I've seen 2 different tests, and they were very similar.
And I'll tell you, I looked at our test, and I thought it was one of those, a train leaves Chicago and Denver at the same time. Like, you fix and give me a headache. But it really isn't. Some of it is you go north and then south and go north. And it's pretty easy. If I can pass that, and I went to Central, and I missed that day in math class when we talked about math. But most of the rest of that test, a reasonably educated person can pass it. But that part of it is just, it's just hard. And again, I don't want to have just knuckleheads being able to pass this test.
Yeah.
Let's try to weed them out. But clearly, if they're going to other departments on us because they're passing
If you've got advanced officer scoring like that, there's something wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Were you shocked?
Shocked?
Surprised?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I thought something was wrong, but I thought.
You
they
didn't
would
know
at
what.
least
Yeah.
vote pass.
Yeah.
So I bet until I started reading it, I know, y'all take it. Let me know. And they played by the rules, they did the hour limits.
Do we need any motion to authorize Chief Williams to work with HR to come up with a better test?
I would suggest doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, I have my line on, I want to make sure I understand too, because I think there's a problem with the test. But if the same company can provide you with a test that you feel like, okay, this is fair, can you say, that's the test I want, and they're not going to say, well, you can't have that when you're going to rotate through just like everybody else?
No, sir, we can request that test.
If you're paying for it, you can get what you want.
If they don't, we'll go to a different test.
Well,
that's
that's
all
why
right.
we have a backup plan if I run into an issue.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
test that's gonna cost us $12 or so more per test than we're getting now, but it's one that Fort Smith uses, and it seems to be an awfully good test.
We'll entertain a motion.
I'm not sure how to put the motion.
To
but
authorize
I
Chief
would
Williams?
authorize Chief Williams to attempt to work with the company that's providing the test now and get the test that he wants, and then let them set a retesting date as soon as possible.
You got that, Mr. Secretary?
I think I do.
Second.
Always play it back, make sure.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, recording, yeah.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, that's just part of the problem, because now how long do you think it will take you to do this? How will that, you're needing to test.
Yes, sir.
So I'm assuming you
There's
can,
no issue with this test that we want. We can order that this week or next.
yeah, how long does it usually take to get?
Well, we have to give them 3 weeks notice we get before test.
You need to give enough time to get some applicants in there, is
Right.
the problem, too.
Yeah.
What,
So I'm looking at 4 to 6 weeks out.
how many, packets do you normally order?
Well, we don't order them until we know about how many applicants. We'll wait till like the week before the test and then order the packets that we need. So we typically order, if there's 35, we'll order 50, probably, and we can send back the ones we don't use.
Oh, okay.
And get, there's a restocking fee, of
We
course.
work with
but-
folks. We've had
yeah.
people call the day before and say,
Yeah.
well, the cutoff date was 3 days ago, but come on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because we always order more than we actually need, and then what always happens is, not everybody shows up that signed up to take the test either.
Right.
You know, we'll have 30 people sign up, and 22 will show up the day of the test, because they either found another job or something came up, but.
Well, they realized they had a felony.
They realize
Just remembered that.
You realize that, yeah.
That just came back to me.
Oh.
I will entertain a motion to authorize Chief Williams and HR to work together to come up with a testing date that works for all parties.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? No. Motion carries.
Thank you.
And I think you're going to have to come back to us for approval of that date, I think. We don't set them, but I think we're supposed to approve them.
Yes, sir.
So, and you said you're at least 4 to 6 weeks out,
Oh,
so
yes, sir.
that won't be an issue. Any additional comments? With none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? No. All righty, we're done.
Now that we're off the record, I have a question. When they,
Come on, Captain.